Hey there, beautiful women of principle. If this is your first time watching one of my 10-minute transformation videos, I want to say thank you so much. Welcome to the community. These 10-minute videos are meant to empower you, to equip you to really become all that God is calling you to be. I'm Mary Katherine Morales. I'm the founder of the Women of Principle community, and I'm so glad you're here. We want to equip and empower you to explore your full potential and to truly live with confidence and joy. So let's get started. We're on part 2 of reframing fear and becoming a fearless woman of faith, which may sound impossible, but I promise you the faithfulness of God gives us the tools that we need because our blessings and our battles are in the spiritual realm. So last week, just a quick reminder, we talked about 2 acronyms, right? First is based on the true experience of fear. It comes from the father of lies. The Bible calls him the evil one. Fear creates anxiety and anger, and it also causes us to feel rejected, which is that R. Then I reframed it a little bit for you, right? F is for the faithfulness of God. E is for everything, because the book of Ephesians tells us, you beautiful woman of God have every spiritual blessing you will ever need to live with confidence and joy. The A stands for the abundant mind, and R stands for responsibility, that you are the salt and light of the world, right? So that's where we're going to spend time today. Because if we are called to live with love, power, and a sound mind, if we are called to walk confidently in the world, how do we do that? And last week, I provided to you my 4-step renewing your mind process, and that's where we're going to spend time today. So we're going to review that, but I'm going to really dive into some of the details. So if you have a notebook, now is the time to start taking notes. The first R, because there are 4 steps. Step 1 stands for recognize. You see, oftentimes we walk around believing that every negative thought we have about ourselves or about someone else is actually true, actually factual. What if I were to tell you that most human beings have at least 6,200 thoughts every day? 80% of those are negative, scientifically speaking, which means that until we train our thought process and learn how to reframe our thinking, we can walk around with 4,800 negative thoughts about ourselves, about our lives, about the people that we love, our workmates, our children, 4,800 negative thoughts. But what if I were to tell you that you have the power to not only recognize when you're having a negative thought, but to reject it? And that is step 2. You want to not only recognize that you're having a negative thought, you have the power through the Holy Spirit to reject it. And I'm going to give you a tool. I have a pen in my hand, right? It's black and silver. What if this thought was, I am not smart enough, I am not good enough, I am not capable of getting that big promotion at work, I am not a good mother, I am not prepared, etc. Whatever that negative thought is for you that comes and goes. And we all have negative thoughts. But what if, in the power of recognizing that you're having a negative thought, you can actually see your thought of, I am not, ... I am not enough, like I said, I am not smart enough, whatever that negative thought is. And you can reject it because you begin to see it as just a thought, like an inanimate object, just like my pen. This pen is just a pen. And in the power of the practice, the power of the pause, when you get that negative thought, you reject it. And you recognize that just because you think it doesn't make it true. It's a powerful tool. And it may seem really simple, but I want to empower you to use this as an example in your own thought life. So we recognize it, we reject it, and we release that negative thought. And this is really powerful. When you find yourself having thoughts that concern you, thoughts that create fear in your life, you actually can release those, give those over to the faithfulness of God. And then you begin to replace them. And that's the fourth R, is to replace it. So just like this is a pen, and let's say this is your thought, I am not enough. I am not capable of giving this big proposal. I don't have what it takes to talk to my husband about this really complex conversation. You reject it. You release it into the hands of God. You replace it with, I am capable. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And then you begin to take the small steps towards going out and having those conversations, going out and standing in front of your peers and giving that presentation. My final tip today is you can actually take this 4-step renewing your mind process into a quiet meditation practice every day. You can, right now, you can write down, what is that negative thought that keeps coming up over and over and over for you? You want to write it down. You want to write the opposite of that down on a sheet of paper. And you want to take that into your meditation time, because neuroscience research actually tells us that when we are ready to spend, 5 to 16 minutes every day reframing fear, recognize, reject, release, and replacing it over and over and over again. It's what Dr. Caroline Leaf calls directed thinking, which we'll talk about next week. But this 4-step process, taken into a 5 to 16 minute meditation practice every day, will in fact begin to empower you to go out and become all that God is calling you to be. I'm not saying it's easy. What we practice, we become, right? There's a process to the promises of God. And as we learn to take these 4 steps every day, write down that negative, old, nasty thought that comes all the time, and we are intentional about replacing it. We take it into our meditation time and we reframe it over and over again. We visualize ourselves standing confidently in front of that group of people at work, confidently and humbly sitting with our husband or children and having that conversation, confidently and humbly facing our challenges head on. Our lives begin to change. I'm Mary Katherine Morales. Again, I am so grateful that you are here, that you've just spent about 10 minutes with me. Please let me know if this video has helped you, if there are certain things that you'd like to learn more about. And I'd love to set up a 15-minute call with you. My number and my email are in this email. Together, I truly, truly believe that we are transforming our mind. We are, in fact, living a courageous life, and we are learning through simple practices like the one I just introduced you to, how to rise to the call and to the purpose that is upon our life. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.